Here's what you can see if you look into the sky this month. Now, there are no bright planets in the early evening, but often we get emails and calls about what's that bright glittering thing low in the southeast sky, currently around 9 o'clock. And it's actually, you recognize Orion.
By now.
But down below it, the belt of Orion actually points at the brightest star of the nighttime sky. It's Sirius. It's also the closest star we can see with our unaided eye from our latitude in Los Angeles. It's about 9 light years away. Alpha Centauri is also a very bright star, but it's only visible from this really overhead in the southern hemisphere, and it's about half as far as Sirius is. In the early morning sky is where the planets currently reside. So starting around midnight, Jupiter rises in the east, and then Mars follows a couple hours later. And at 3 in the morning, Venus comes up. And that and the moon are making kind of a neat show, and also one other thing that's joining it. And we'll get to that in a moment. But if you have a telescope, be sure to look at Jupiter. It's up very high in the sky just before sunrise and shows all its beautiful details. So here's a recent image taken by a Spanish amateur astronomer. You see the great red spot. Mars. Now, Mars is very far away. Normally, advice is, well, it's too far away to see any detail with the telescope right now. It's only 1/5 as wide as when it's said it's very biggest, like it was in 2003. So usually the advice is you can't see anything, but I've been seeing images taken using, people are using video cameras and stacking software, which you can get free off the internet. They're combining them and getting images that are better than what astronomers in the early part of the 20th century considered great images, even when Mars was close to the Earth. So in this one, for instance, we can see the clouds that are surrounding the large volcanoes in Mars.
Now, are those water clouds? Water?
Are they? Yeah,
I thought so.
Yeah, I guess, but very, very thin. But
Yeah.
they're like cirrus clouds, and they form around the tops of the high volcanoes. Venus doesn't show a lot of detail. Generally, if you use different filters and stuff, you can tease detail out of pictures, especially with ultraviolet filters. But visually, it looks like just sort of a blank gibbous shape right now. Now, there's another object that's just joined this group, and this is
an Imperial cruiser? Or no, the other Jedi thing, not the cruiser.
The X-Wing?
I think it's a lightsaber. No,
A Y-Wing.
I don't know.
It's a B-Wing?
Why is everybody so excited about Star Wars all of a sudden?
I don't know.
In the 1970s. Anyway, gee, that was something I watched just before I started working here, come to think of it. But anyway, this is Comet Catalina C2013 US10, which is just a code number telling you what year and what month and what part of the month it was found, since so many comets are found robotically now. And anyway, this comet is bright enough to see easily in binoculars. If you were in a dark enough sky, you might be able to glimpse it by unaided eye, but really it's more photogenic, I think, than visual. But the thing is, it's really easy to find right now. And especially when we get to December 7th, if we go ahead. We'll get to December 7th in a moment, but basically this comet is
I think
low.
we get there Monday.
In 3 days,
Yeah.
I think.
That's right.
So I hope everybody's got their food.
There's more going on that you want to keep your binoculars handy for on that morning, so that's why we'll go back to it.
For quiet, the Rangers won't know we're here.
But this comet's going to be around for a while. It's been hidden in the southern hemisphere and then behind the sun for many months. But now it's coming up into our sky. It's low in the morning now, but soon it will move up near the Big Dipper and actually be in the sky all night long as it comes close to the Earth. It's getting farther from the sun now, so its brightness probably won't change very much, but at least it'll be in the sky a long time. And if you want to hunt down a comet, this will be a good one to try. Now, here's what's going on the 7th. If you are looking just before dawn, actually, you'd see the moon very close to Venus. More about that in a minute. And the comet will be easy to see just to the left of that pair. And so this is what it would look like in binoculars. I think a pretty realistic view. And then if you hold on to your binoculars, between 7:05 and 9:55 in the morning, the moon will sail right across Venus. You might go, well,
Let's run that again. That's cool.
Yeah, so that's after sunrise, but the thing is, Venus is actually more intensely bright than the same surface area of the moon. So if you have the moon to, you can see the moon in the daytime. How many of you have seen the moon in the daytime sky? Because not everybody believes you can, but it looks like most of you do. If you have that to concentrate or to focus on, then Venus actually will be surprisingly easy to see. Well, haven't I noticed that before? And with binoculars or by eye, you can actually see it fade out behind the moon. It takes 40 seconds to fade. It'll take 40 seconds to reappear at 9:55. I don't expect you to memorize all these times, by the way, but we do have our sky report weekly on our website, and it has all this information. Another big event this month is the Geminid meteor shower. This meteor shower can produce 120 per hour, in other words, 2 per minute, around 1:50 in the morning. So, but it's visible actually all night from about 7 o'clock, well, not quite all night, but starting at 7 o'clock, and especially around 10 o'clock, if you don't want to stay up real late, you can actually see some. And it's a worthwhile shower to watch. Even if you can't go to a dark sky, even from a city, you can just sit in your backyard and look, and these are bright enough that every few minutes you'll see one of them. So I highly recommend it. The winter solstice, the start of winter, comes this year on the 21st hour time. You're going to read the 22nd in some places, but that's because that's universal time.
As measured in England.
Yeah, and that's 8 hours ahead of us, so it happens early in the morning in England and late at midnight, middle of the evening our time.
Yeah, so this is a Monday here in Los Angeles. We will have some events here if you want to come watch our local noon at our Meridian Arc or the sunset. It's a lot of fun to watch the sunset on one of these.
And look, there's Comet Catalina. Okay, now here's one other thing, and I only bring it up in the sky report because the last of these actually might be visible in our sky. SpaceX, as you know, back in the summertime had a disastrous launch trying to get a supply mission to the International Space Station. It exploded not too long after launch, and they haven't launched since then. But now they have kind of a big backlog of launches they have to catch up on. And they have been developing their rocket in the meantime, so it's not going to be the same thing that blew up. Even the fuel has changed, so they've increased the density and the efficiency of the fuel.
Don't they need to do more tests before they start doing payloads?
Well, I'm sure they have been doing
all those
static
changes.
testing and things like that, but
Makes me nervous.
but
too.
every flight, I mean, they add legs onto it, and
I know,
they
but
still call it
still.
a Falcon 9, but the engines are all totally different than they were 2 years ago, and so every flight has new things. Anyway, so this month they're going to launch 11 communication satellites on one rocket, and that'll come sometime around the middle of December. Then, by the end of December, there's supposed to be another communication satellite. These are from different countries. They'll have a NASA launch, the CRS-8, the supply mission number 8. Now, this date may slip. In fact, the latest I've seen might be the 4th. The other launch company's rocket who exploded was, Orbital. Their Antares rocket with their Cygnus supply thing blew up also around the same time. And they have contracted with the United Launch Alliance, and they've been trying to launch their supply mission. It's been delayed twice. Now, it got delayed again this afternoon because of high winds that kicked up at the last second. They might try again tomorrow. I haven't heard the reschedule time. Again, Sky Report's Twitter, if you find that, which you can find through the Sky Report, will keep you updated on when to tune into NASA TV. Anyway,
that one launches from Wallops out on the East Coast, though, so it's not.
No,
something
it's ULA, so it's launching from Cape Canaveral.
Oh, Cape Canaveral. Okay,
It's
so
an
it's from
Atlas
Florida.
rocket. Yeah, they don't, because of the problems with Russia and getting rockets
Right, but
now.
it's not
That's
visible
held
from
up.
here, is what I was saying.
No, but the thing is, the significance to this is that they have to launch that, and it may affect things after it, especially going to the space station. Anyway, the last one, NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory has an atmospheric or ocean studying satellite called Jason 3, and this one will launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base, so it should be visible in our sky. We don't know what time yet, and we don't know what date yet for sure. One other thing about these, I think maybe because Jeff Bezos has upped the ante a little bit with successfully landing his booster, even though it wasn't what Elon Musk is trying to do. These landings will probably be back at the launch pad, not exactly the launch pad, but on the coast rather than trying to land it on a barge, as he's been trying to do. But Elon Musk thinks that some of the problems are that the barge itself is a difficult target to land on and is moving around. But with this more efficient fuel and all that stuff, they will try to fly the booster back to where it launched from. So
Well, we'll see if,
it'd be
we'll
very
see if they
significant
pull that
launches.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
be very interesting.
In case you didn't know it, the SES-9 satellite was built in El Segundo.
Oh, wow. So who does that service?
SES is out of Belgium,
Okay.
Luxembourg, Belgium area. They, I don't know exactly which, I think it's Maritime and Europe.
Do you work for the company that built it?
I helped build it.
Oh, well,
Wow.
congratulations.
Wonderful.
So we keep our fingers extra crossed.
Do you have any inside scoop as to the launch date?
Yeah.
We don't know yet, but we will watch it when it goes up.
Okay, that's fair.